ioEther. I got this.
Hey folks, this is ioEther and we're back with some more World of Tanks. So I'm sorry that the videos haven't been coming out as frequently, and I've basically been absent for like a week or more. I'm sorry about that. I recently got a second job, so now I have even less free time than I did before. Again, it's 2 hours one way from home. But it's like a major stepping stone to my dream job, and so I'm really stoked about it, and I'm really glad to be doing it, even if it is a huge distance away from home. It doesn't really matter to me. Just the fact that I'm getting to do it is awesome, but unfortunately, for the last while, it has screwed up my ability to put out YouTube videos, and I'm really sorry for that. That's completely my fault. Not structure my time as well as I should have. And so yeah, I hopefully taking care of that problem. As you guys will have seen several videos in a row by now. I can't remember when any of these videos are coming out because I'm all doing them all on one night, so I can get them all out to you guys in a timely fashion. Anyways, back into this video, which is really what you guys came here for anyways. This is we're gonna pause this again for a second. I'm going to butcher his name, and then I'm going to tell you what he told me to call him. So, Nanasa is the butchered version. I have no doubt that's not right. I'm sorry. He has he spent maybe 10 or 20 minutes at one point trying to tell me how to pronounce his name, and then just basically did a facepalm and said, "Call me NASA." So, NASA is what I'll be calling him from now on out. I'm so sorry again. Anyways, so he's in a Churchill 3. This is tier 5 game, and he's top tier. The Churchill 3 is an awesome tank, one of my favorites. And apparently, NASA's only just now figured out the amazingness of this thing. It's a completely premium tank, so there's only one way it's going to be decked at, and that's this way. Carries enough ammunition that you can pretty much just hold down the trigger and walk from one end of the map to the other end and still have ammo by the time you get there. But it doesn't do very much damage, but it does fire really, really rapidly, as you'll see in a few seconds. He's just going to bull his way through the middle of the map because the enemy team is not putting themselves in any kind of positions to hold him back at all. So why not be aggressive? I'm going to pop around this corner, take out the little duck. No, he bounces off the duck, but he reloads so fast that he can just take another shot. Whatever. He's going to pop one into the Panzer II-G, who then runs into the side of the small duck. MX-38. Unfortunately, he's not able to draw another bead on it. It does get away. Looks like he's just going to pull around this corner, though, and start pumping rounds into this Matilda. Does about 80 damage, thereabouts, per shot. And he's just putting shot after shot in. The Matilda's starting to return fire, but is not doing so very effectively, as NASA just keeps pumping rounds in this guy. And a lot of these rounds are getting eaten by the tracks, but that's okay. That particular shot does not. And again, he's fired off... At this point in time, he's fired off like 15 shots. Not all of them was connected. Not all of them have done damage. He really doesn't care. The fact is that he has another 113 shells in his loadout at this point in time. Though I do think he should be angling his tank a lot better right now. We're gonna pop out. So right now he's pretty much flat on to this BDR, who is dropping shells into his drive wheel. And actually, because of the way he was angled as his tank, those shells were going through his drive wheel, being reduced in effectiveness and bouncing off his front plate. I'm 90% certain, but I can't get my... Of course, can't possibly look at that because, well, that would be helpful. Camera won't zoom out in that direction, so yeah. But anyways, because of the fact that the front drive wheel sticks so far off the front of this thing, they basically will absorb shells without doing anything except having your tracks blown off, which you really don't care about in this thing anyway. He's taking nice snipe shots on the top of this BDR's cupola, and apparently it's just going to sit here and let him do it. Just going to pump shot after shot into this poor guy, who's backing up to the point where he can return fire. But, I mean, he does 1 damaging shell and then dies. NASA is now turning around, seeking another target. It looks like he's going to try and cover our T-14 before he dies. He's going to get there in time. Yes. No. He kind of got there. And then the T-14 got killed anyway. Poor T-14. He's just going to push on through past this dead Matilda, who died trying to fend him off, and it obviously didn't work. He's just going to put... unfortunately take an M4 shell in the side. He got lucky though, and it did not pen. And then the M4 just charges into him, because of course he does not... of course the M4 doesn't want to shoot us in the side. That would be helpful to him. No, he's going to charge us, so he has to shoot us in the front of the tank, which is the part most unlikely to go through. We are least vulnerable in the front, so of course that's where he was trying to shoot those HE shells into us from. Now there's 2 enemy tank destroyers out in that field. There is one of them, and they are pretty much blind, so we're going to be able to sit side on to these guys and just pump shells into them. And oops, the other one is actually on this corner of the map. That's where he was last spotted. So looks like NASA is just going to turn and head in that direction. And it is a top tier AT2. This thing is deadly in its tier, as the Martyr 38T finds out. It should be able to hold up quite well as long as it doesn't let anybody flank it, which we are now doing. And again, you can just see that watches NASA just holds the trigger down. He doesn't care how many of these shells actually hit the target or not. He just knows he can just keep firing them forever. The AT2 then turns to face us. Nice aiming by NASA. He then aims at where he should be aiming for, the cupola. The other place you can aim for is the center of the gun. Weirdly enough, the gun mantle on this is actually less armored than the front of the tank. No, don't aim for the lower glacis. That's one of the worst. Well, I guess you can see up into it. You could kill him. He's actually firing gold ammo into the front of this AT2 and having it bounce off. This guy has got to be earning himself a steel wall right now. Now, if we let him... What the heck? Where is he shooting at? Is he, like, tracked up in the air and firing at us and just going straight up or something? Somebody's firing HE into the front of him. NASA has just locked on and he's just pumping standard ammo at this guy in hopes that one of these shells will go through. But, of course, it's an AT2, unlikely to go through this angle. Even if you aim, you're unlikely to go through this angle. AT2, gets taken out by the Su-85, who finally got to a spot, or finally connected a shell, I don't know which. Unfortunately, there goes NASA's top gun. But again, this tank is a ton of fun to use. And if you don't have one and you have the opportunity to get this, especially on sale, gobble it up. Just snag it. It is beautiful and it is a ton of fun. Yeah, you can use it to bully like he did here, or you can use it to side scrape amazingly effectively, because these tracks will just eat every round that passes through them. And most things, especially in the lower tiers, will try and shoot you in the front instead of trying to shoot you in the turret. And as long as they're trying to shoot you in the front of your tank, you angle it slightly and you're going to bounce everything at tier 5 and lower, and even some tier 6s. Although of course you prefer not to. It also has prime matchmaking, and then of course there's the fact that you can literally just hold the trigger down as NASA did in at least a couple parts of this and just drive, and it doesn't matter if your shells hit the target, he's still going to make money on us. That was a great game. Thank you so much, NASA. Mastery Badge, Ace Tanker, Bruiser, Duelist, Fighter, and Fire for effect along with a coveted high caliber. Now, there is something I desperately need to know. How many games have you played in this thing, NASA? The fact is, at the start of the game, you said something about the reload, which tells me you haven't played that many games in it. Maybe it's your first. I don't know. I'm really curious to know how many games at this point in time you'd played in this thing, and if you'd managed to get an ace tanker before, or if this is your first. Anyways, 1,500 damage in a game that otherwise would have been lost because of the amount of damage the rest of the team did. That was just pitiful from the rest of the team. The Mark IV Cruiser deserves some props. He definitely did his best in a tier 3 machine, tier 4 machine, something like that. Either way, he deserves some props for that. But by far, this was carried by NASA in this beautiful, beautiful beast of a machine. Oh yeah, 66 shells fired, and again, look at this. He made a decent profit, even without premium, prime time. That's what I was trying to get to. 66 shells fired in less than 5 minutes of actual shooting. That is insane, and that is the power of the Churchill 3. This thing is one of my favorite tanks to play at tier 5, just for the amazingness of it. We're not going to count the LC at tier 5 because, of course, it's a tier 6 tank. No matter what its match, its number beside the tank says. This is an awesome machine, the Churchill Mark III. If you get a chance to drive one of these things, do it. It is amazingly fun to drive. Most fun, obviously, in a tier 5 game, but still fun in a tier 6 game. Just don't take them into anything above tier 6. You'll be perfectly fine in this thing. And will make money hand over fist every single time you take it out of the garage. Though if you aim your shells, you'll make remarkably more money. But not the point. This was a beautifully played game. Thank you so much, sir, for sending this in. And once again, I'm sorry that the YouTube videos have trailed off the last little bit. And they will be getting back on course now that I have started to structure my free time a lot better. The second job is going to prevent me from doing as much as I want to, but I should still figure out how to do it. Yes. Yeah. Thank you all for watching. Have a great night. This is ioEther out.